Oh, okay. So, as it's so lovely and warm at the moment, I thought I'd do a cooling class, hence the water. So, we're going to start with some normal sort of releases for the spine, and then we're going to move towards pranayama, and then we're going to move into sitali pranayama. So, sitali pranayama is the cooling breath. And what happens is we bring the air in through the mouth, either through the teeth, like that, or through the tongue, um, like that. Hopefully you can see that. So I think it's about 50% of the population can't do that. Make a straw with your mouth. So if you can't make a straw with your mouth, go through your teeth. So unlike all other yogic breaths, this is the only one where you breathe through your mouth, because normally through the nose is preferable because the nose is a filter for pollutants. However, this one's really good in hot weather. Obviously, don't do it when you're sat in public transport or you're out near a busy road because you don't have the filter of the nose. But it's really, really good because what happens is the air comes in, it comes over the saliva, which we can cool additionally with a little drink of water. And as it comes into the lungs, it cools and then the oxygen goes through the lungs into the bloodstream. It cools everything. So it doesn't just cool the lungs and this sort of area here, it cools the whole body. So we're going to do that. It's also said to give you a magnetic personality. Uh, because of the way we're breathing with the heat and the cooling effect of the water of our mouth. And it's a good all-round breath for hot weather. It's also particularly good if you are emotionally feeling a little bit angry or a little bit fiery. It can also cool our emotional temper. So let's just start with a little bit of release for the upper body. So let's take a twist to the right, just turning gently. Take a deep breath in and maybe exhale with a sigh. Or yawn. In my case, I always seem to be yawning on a Thursday. Lovely. Now stay in the twist. I just want you to bring the head forwards as you inhale and take it back as you exhale. Just releasing some of that tension that we carry in the neck and the shoulders. Lovely. Now, if it suits your body, so if it doesn't, just stay with this movement, rotating the head. Just going to take a little movement. So as you exhale, keeping the arm where it is, just drop the shoulder to the opposite side. Inhale to come up. So just releasing through the back of the body. And you don't need to sit cross-legged in meditation for this practice. You can be sitting in a chair, that's absolutely fine. Lovely, come back up. Let's go the other way. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, have a little bit of a sigh. Releasing the upper body. I always find in this type of heat that I can feel quite achy. And I think it's because the cells of the body inflame because they're mainly water, and water expands when it's hot and we're hot. So that's why we feel a bit swollen in heat. As you inhale, bring the head forwards. As you exhale, take it back, relax the jaw. Good, and just stay with this movement if it feels enough for your back, or if you want to just take a little bit of a deeper movement, keep the hands where they are, and as you exhale, drop the shoulder down, inhale, exhale. So you're just going over to the opposite knee. Come back up. Let's bring our hands to our shoulders, thumbs backwards, fingers forwards. And when you're ready, nice deep breath in. Have a slight pause at the top. And just let go. You're going to keep your hands here and do a little bit of movement into the thoracic spine. So you're going to inhale left, exhale right. So if you have very low blood pressure, this one can make you feel a little bit dizzy, especially when it's hot. So just start off slowly and stay with the slow movement unless you feel comfortable, and then you can speed it up. But the breath moves with the movement. So if you're going faster, the breath is much faster. Make sure the head's moving with you. Eyes are closed so you don't get dizzy. Lovely, come back to center. Have the hands at the side of the body. We're going to inhale. Out through the mouth. Inhale. And again. Lovely. So we're going to start with bee breathing. So bee breathing is brilliant for the vagus nerve. Sometimes when it's really hot, we can get a little bit overwrought with things. So I'm just going to do a really basic hand position, not the full position. Bring the finger to this hard part of the ear. We're just going to close it. We're going to do 9 breaths. So we breathe in through the nose and then we're going to hum out. And as you hum out, just feel the sound coming down through the body. So when the vagus nerve starts around here, it comes all the way down. So our throat, eyes, the lacrimal ducts are all part of the vagus nerve. Sighing is great for the vagus nerve. Singing comes all the way down into all of our organs. So when we do bee breathing, it can affect the whole body really positively. So take a breath in and hum out. Mm. 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 Just let the hands relax. So we're going to work with Sukha Pranayama. So this is sometimes translated as easy breath or even breath. So it's simply breathing in and out, but we're going to count the breath and regulate it. So we'll start with a count of 4. So breathe in for a count of 4. And breathe out for 4. And again. Let's increase the count to 5. Lovely. Now we're going to work with Sitali again. So I want you to take a drink of water. because this just adds to the benefit. So just kind of in your mouth, give it a and then so I'm going to work with it in a few different ways. Okay, so we'll start with just the basic practice. So either breathe in through your teeth, so you get like a hissing sound, and then out through the nose, or breathe in through the tongue. So I can do both. I like to alternate between them. So whatever feels best for you. So we're just going to start by experiencing the breath. And let's just have a simple count. Let's breathe in for 6. And out for 6. So we're still using Sukha Pranayama, but we're now using it within the Sitali, the cooling breath. And really feel that sense of the body temperature subtly changing. Notice it near the throat, near the chest, near the diaphragm. And as that cooling air works into the bloodstream through the oxygen, it starts to cool the organs as well. There's one contraindication with Sitali, which is if you suffer from chronic constipation, then you shouldn't use it because it cools the body, and constipation is that type of energy. So you would use something like Bhastriki, sort of breath of fire, instead if you needed to deal with constipation. So just keep breathing in through the teeth or the tongue. Two more breaths. Just release the practice, breathe normally. Take a moment to scan through the body, notice the change in temperature, and also perhaps a change in emotions, a calmer frame of mind. So take another drink of water. So this time we're actually going to do it with bee breathing, which is a nice combination. So you've got that cooling effect, and you've also got the calming effect of the vagus nerve. So you're going to do 9 breaths again, so count that yourself. And then we'll just rest. And you're going to breathe in through the teeth or the tongue. And then you're going to hum out through the nose. And what will happen is the inhale, let's say we're going to breathe in for 6. The exhale will become really long because it's B breathing. When you breathe out that way, it really extends the exhale. So what we're doing is we're cooling our body and our emotions. We're calming our nervous system with the B sound, but we're also calming our nervous system with the extended exhale. So it drops us very deeply into relaxation response. So when you're ready, in through the teeth or the tongue, and then hum the breath out. Mm. 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 Just let the arms rest when you're ready. Bring them into meditation mudra. And just return to just observing the breath at the tip of the nose. I want you to imagine, visualize yourself walking through a really beautiful forest, barefoot. You can feel that Mother Earth beneath your feet, connecting you, anchoring you, nurturing you. And it's the heat of the summer like it is today, but the forest is really cool in the dappled shade of the trees. And just notice how the body feels with this lovely cool air generated by the very generous shade of the trees that they provide for us. And take a moment to look around and find a tree in your forest that calls to you. And I want you to walk over to the tree and just place one of your hands on the tree and say hello to it and thank it for its shade. And then ask it if it's okay if you sit down with your back against it. Always asking permission rather than assuming that it's okay. And just sit down, and you can just gently rest your head against the tree and be aware of that beautiful emerald green light that you get in forests, where the leaves are being bathed with sunshine. And then you get that lovely sort of twinkling of the golden sunshine through the leaves as well. And just feel how the spine connects to the back of the tree. Be aware of the bark, its texture. Notice the energy of the tree is very calm, very grounding as you enjoy the increase in negative ions which anchor us to the earth and help us feel very calm, very safe. Be aware of a gentle breeze blowing across the skin. Maybe you're practicing Shitali still. Maybe you move in and out of that practice in the forest. Through the teeth of the tongue, out through the nose. Be aware of the tree breathing with you. So we're intricately connected to the trees, because as we breathe in, the trees breathe out. And as we breathe out our carbon dioxide, the trees breathe in. So get that sense of being really connected to the trees. As if you can speak to them through a intuitive felt sense rather than through a language, which of course we can communicate with trees. So just be aware of how the tree feels. Can you sense into the tree? Can you feel into the trunk of the tree? What it feels like to be a tree? Can you feel into its leaves as they gently blow in the wind? And they create that beautiful sound that trees create. Can you see into the amazing process of photosynthesis that's going on inside the tree as it harvests the sunshine? Can you sense down into the roots of the tree below you, spreading out? So they're quite shallow, the roots of trees, and they spread outwards more. And can you sense that below the trees, there's this other network that interconnects with the trees, a mycelium network that creates information between each of the trees as they communicate with each other? Can you sense into that? Can you be aware of the sound of the bees Perhaps there's some really beautiful forest plants that are just gently turning their head up towards the shafts of sun that come down through the canopy. Maybe there's a deer watching you from a distance, or perhaps some squirrels in the tree. Just take it all in, whatever's there, and feel that sense of connection to nature rather than feeling separate from it, because we're not. Are the birds there? Are the birds above you? Maybe some bigger birds like a red kite or an eagle. Maybe there's an owl in your tree. And just be aware of that sense of being totally supported by Mother Earth and all of her creatures. So the mycelium network, she's part of the mushroom family, the trees, the earth itself, the humus, so the ground of the earth, that's where our name comes from, humans, from the earth. Feel that deep connection to Mother Earth that supports this physical body. Be aware of her waters, the beautiful streams, and notice in the distance you can hear water. See if you can sense that in your imagination, that in your creative visualization there is a stream as well. What does it sound like? Can you see how the sun creates these beautiful shimmering colours of blue and white that come off the water, almost like diamonds? And then take a moment to thank the tree for its shade and just being with you, sharing its wisdom and its gentle, embracing, supportive energy. Maybe give it a hug. I always like to kiss them, so I always kiss the bark and say thank you. And then just say that you'll come back to see the tree again. And go and have a little wander again and see if you can find the sound of the water. Notice the change in smell when you move towards water. Can you sense yourself walking? So remember, you're barefoot. It's the heat of the summer. You're in an amazing forest with beautiful trees, with a real variety of leaves. The sun's gently sort of just coming down in little places, but the general temperature is a lot cooler. And you're feeling this connection, this support that nature gives us. And see if you can find the source of the sound, the stream. And go and sit down by the stream, still in dappled shade. Maybe pop your barefoot feet in the stream. Feel how cool the water is and how refreshing it is. Maybe pop your hands into the water and just feel it running through the hands, clearing any stagnant energy from the hand chakras and the feet chakras. And then maybe scoop some water up and pop it over the face. Just imagine all of this happening. And then maybe you think, oh, that's just lovely. And you take more and you put it all over the head. And then you just sit there with this lovely icy cool water and the body warmed by the dapple shade, but not too hot. And then just sit a while here and go back to the Sitali breath. So as you're in this beautiful landscape that you've created with your imagination, breathe in through the teeth or the tongue. Out through the nose. And feel yourself in your imagination sitting on the soil, so deep in this humus. So remember, the humus of the earth is where our name comes from, humans. And feel that connection deep to the earth, and start to lengthen the exhalation. So you're in through the teeth or the tongue. And then lengthen that exhalation out through the nose. And just have a sense of really allowing any tension, whether that's physical, emotional, mental, to pour back into the earth, to be recycled by Mother Earth. Remember, if you're going through the tongue, it's and then out through the nose, letting go of any tension. Just really hold that image of where you are in nature, where you're sitting, how beautiful it is. Lovely. And then you start to see a beautiful dragonfly. Its iridescent blue wings coming past, and you start to follow it. So you get up and you just gently walk along the path of the stream in this lovely dappled shade. And you start to see that the forest is thinning out a little bit. And as you look ahead of you, you can see that there is an opening. See the opening of the forest. And the forest's all around this opening. It's almost like going up into hills, trees everywhere, but you can hear the roar of the water now. And as you follow this beautiful dragonfly towards this big roaring sound, ahead of you, you can see this waterfall and a big plunge pool. And as you get to the waterfall, just strip off all your clothes and dive in to the most amazing pool. And the water's quite cool, but as you look up, you're surrounded by greenery and beautiful vines. You can hear lots of birds and insects and this roar of water that's coming from the waterfall. And just feel the shift in energy when you're near a waterfall, that change in the ions. Really feel completely rejuvenated by this beautiful waterfall. Maybe you're just lying there floating, maybe you're swimming, maybe you've swum towards the waterfall and you're just underneath it, sitting cross-legged, allowing that lovely cool, probably icy cold water to pour over the body, drenching you completely. Nobody else there, just you and the waterfall, nature, the birds, the insects. And again, if you're still feeling quite hot in yourself, then just use the Sitali breath as you focus on this vista that you've placed yourself in. Lovely. Now I want you to release all of the visualization. Go back to a normal breath, just in and out through the nose. And bring your attention to your body in the here and the now. and notice the stillness of the body. And as you focus on the stillness, feel yourself becoming the stillness itself, which is part of our true nature, known as the ground of being. Allow it to support you, like the earth supports us, the Mother Earth. And just be aware of this sense of peace, calm. And as we just sit here silently together, see if you can sense each other's presence. So we have a different sense, which is not the basic 5 senses, which we can attune to other people through. So just be aware of that connection to each other. Be aware of our connection to Mother Earth, trees, the water, the birds, the bees, the insects, the trees. Just, it's all interconnected, and we seem to have lost our connection. And when you spend time in nature, it's deeply healing. Just feel that sense of being supported by all that is, which encompasses everything that exists. Scan through the whole of the body, noticing how the organs feel. Can you feel into the nervous system? Just really bring your awareness, so the witness presence at the heart space, to how does the body vehicle feel? So when we develop techniques to bring about a sense of peace and tranquility within ourselves as individuals, we can actually change the world. But it has to start with us to feel peaceful. Let the hands come to the heart space. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale down through the midline. And let the hands rest at the heart space where the observing presence is. And namaste. Thank you for joining me.